Willie D Live.
What's up, family? The plot thickens. Could Diddy's mother be responsible for his penchant for freak-off parties? Diddy's childhood home was the site of wild, sexually charged parties hosted by his mother Janice, according to a new Peacock documentary, Diddy, The Making of a Bad Boy. Tim Dog Patterson, a longtime friend, alleges that guests at these parties included drug addicts, pimps, and individuals from Harlem's streets. He claims it wasn't unusual to walk into a room where adults were engaged in sexual acts. Tim Dog suggests these early experiences may have influenced Diddy's later controversies, as Diddy now faces federal charges for sex trafficking, racketeering conspiracy, and related offenses. Diddy has denied the allegations, with his legal team asserting he has never sexually assaulted or sex trafficked anyone. Diddy revealed in the past that he lost his virginity at the age of 12 and learned a lot by watching porn. The documentary explores Diddy's upbringing in Mount Vernon, New York, where his mother sought to provide for him after his father's murder in 1972. Tim Dog Patterson says he recalls the home being filled with alcohol, marijuana smoke, and a range of troubling individuals. I couldn't even get it out. A range of troubling individuals. Wow, it sounds like a free fall. Y'all believe him? Here's the thing. Whether you believe him or not, having freak-offs, adults having freak-offs, people just having sex with each other and forcing somebody to do something, which is what Diddy is being accused of, are two separate things. So I was going to say, why would this be brought up? Because obviously there is some similarities there, right? So they got to put that out there. Here's the deal, fam. Just earlier today, I was watching a video of a guy who said that he started having sex at an early age and he didn't have a problem. He said people that got a problem with that, talking about how it mess you up and all of that stuff, he was like, F that. I'm glad I had sex at an early age and it was good, and I'd do it again. The reason why we have such a hard time raising young people is because we tell our girls to hold out and we punish them when they don't. We tell our boys to get busy as soon as possible and we reward them when they do. That's a big problem. It makes it harder to get your message across. It's akin to telling girls, don't dress provocatively. You don't want to attract the wrong type of guy. You might get a guy stirred up and he may come at you, he may attack you, he may disrespect you. But we don't tell our boys anything. So if we got with our boys and nipped it in the bud in the first place to let our boys know that no means no, and a woman can dress however she chooses to, and that doesn't give you a right to violate her body. That doesn't give you the right to disrespect her. See, if we was to get at our boys and handle our boys, this sexual assault thing, it wouldn't even be a problem. Well, you're always gonna have some uncivilized mutts, so there'll always be an exception, but it would not be the rule. So a lot of people overlook how exposing boys to sex too early can mess them up in the head. When you 9, 10, 11, 12 years old, 5 years old, and you done already been molested, even as a boy, you've already been introduced to sex, where do you go from there? Introducing boys to sex too early can have all sorts of negative consequences, emotionally, mentally, and socially. First and foremost, it puts a boy in a state of having a lack of emotional readiness. Boys who are introduced to sex prematurely often lack the emotional maturity to handle the feelings and responsibility that come with sexual activity. This can lead to a whole lot of confusion, guilt, and anxiety. You got the potential for exploitation. You got misguided concepts of masculinity. You got the health risk, impact on education and personal development, exposure to misinformation. Then you got the potential long-term consequences, with the biggest being difficulty building healthy relationships. Look at all of the relationships Diddy's had with women. If you let the people who know tell the story, we often hear about violence and a lot of disrespect and sexual promiscuity. You hear about all kinds of stuff. When you get introduced to sex too early, it ain't no different for boys than it is girls in terms of that being negative consequences. There are going to be negative consequences. There's levels to this thing, and this is why you don't show kids everything too soon. There's levels to it. Some people, well, I'm gonna keep it real, man. This is what it is. I got to show them. Some of y'all be having sex with y'all kids in the room, lying in the bed. I ain't talking about infants. I'm talking about kids who see and hear and can comprehend what's going on. Here's something else to think about. How often have we seen parents, especially fathers, get excited about their boys having sex, their young boys having sex, because they think that if they have sex early enough, they won't be gay. Well, I'm here to tell you that oftentimes when boys have sex early, they end up either gay or bisexual. Yeah, it happens way more often than you think. It's the introduction of sex too early. Think about it, fam. A lot of time when you have sex, you're exploring. Well, if a boy has sex too soon, even a girl have sex too soon, if they're already engaged in what the standard thing of sex is, where do they have to go from there? And their mind is still undeveloped. They don't know boundaries. First of all, they're not even supposed to be having sex at such an early age, so they've already broken that boundary. What's to stop them from breaking the next boundary or the next boundary? And how often have we heard about these serial rapists who were exposed to sex early on? Y'all better be careful about exposing these young kids to sex too early. Y'all better be careful about that, because it's all fun and games until it ain't all fun and games. No more talk.